Welcome back to your childhood, where when you were growing up, you had 4 different options to choose from, and each one of these options was going to dictate the journey which you would embark on for the rest of your Maplestory journey. You either were a warrior climbing the mountains of Perion, a magician teleporting through the trees of Alina, a thief sneaking through the streets of Kerning, or a bowman hunting in the forest of Hennessy. But no matter which path you've all chose, we've all came back to the same point now, which is this video today. Our favorite childhood game is coming back, and that is going to be Old School Maplestory Classic. Now, why are you seeing this video today, or why have you clicked on this video today? And that's for a few reasons. Maplestory GMS has decided that they're going to roll out their brand new game, which is going to be Old School Maplestory Classic. Now, this was announced during the 20th anniversary, where Inkwell had his very notorious video talking about changes that he wanted to bring forth in global Maplestory, and had mentioned one of the biggest topics and most asked topics of long-term Maplestory players, probably of all time. This has been a question that has been circulating around the Maplestory community for probably the last decade, whether players actually played the game, had played it in their childhood, came back and forth as casual players, or people who had played it once and have only wanted to play the Old School Maplestory Classic version once again. And finally, that version of the game that so many people have been asking for is coming back to our lives. Now, I've wanted to make a video on Old School Maplestory for a very, very long time, and if you guys know our content, you guys know that we are very focused on the current version of Maplestory, but we are very, very big fans of the Old School Maplestory Classic experience. And the reason why I've held off on such a long time of making this video is because I wanted to wait until we got closer to the time of the game being released to really make a video and talk about everything, give my thoughts, give my opinions, what I'm excited for, and what you guys should all be excited for if you guys are Old School Maplestory Classic fans. Now, the reason why this video is so relevant today is because MapleCon LA is going to be happening October 25th, exactly 12 days from this video. And during this event, they're going to be disclosing Old School Maplestory Classic server for the first time ever. Yes, we've seen teasers. Yes, we've seen videos online from the Maplestory official YouTube channel, but we have not seen an official showcase of the actual game itself. We don't know exactly how it's going to be, what changes they're going to be made, but during this MapleCon showcase, they are going to be going over exactly how they're going to be rolling this out and giving us much more information. So I thought it was the perfect time to make a video like this. Now, for so many of us, Maplestory has been such an impactful game of our childhoods and our entire lives. I remember being a kid wanting to scroll the most godly 50 stat, 50 luck, 50 deck Sonorobes, trying to scroll crazy items in Maplestory. And that's just a feeling that stuck with me for such a long time, and I feel like so many other people can resonate with that feeling as well. So many feelings and emotions of nostalgia and so many good memories of Old School Maplestory have stuck with me for pretty much my entire life, and I feel like so many of you guys out there have the same emotions as well. So in today's video, I really want to just give my opinions on pretty much what I've seen with Old School Maplestory and what I think you guys should be excited for, and ideas that I want to give as well that hopefully do make a change in the Old School Maplestory servers. Now, we've seen a few of the teasers being released for Old School Maplestory Classic, and yes, there have been some changes made to the game. As we can see, they have changed the UI a little bit. They've made a few quality of life changes, like the inventory being able to be transparent, and other quality of life changes from what it looks like to HP values and EXP gain from certain quests and monsters, and also things like skill changes being implemented to classes like mages and maybe potentially others as well. And although I know a lot of people want to stick to the Old School Maplestory Classic vanilla version, I do think that it is important to implement some sort of quality of life changes in the game, because let's be honest, we are not children anymore, and we are for the most part grown adults. And I think that the best way to go about this is implementing small quality of life changes that keeps the feel of old school Maplestory, but doesn't take away too much from it, but adds in a better quality of life, better experience while playing the game. So I want to get into my actual opinions on old school Maplestory and pretty much what I think that they should add if they're going to be doing stuff like quality of life. Now, if they're going to be doing quality of life changes, like so many of you guys, I have a very strong opinion on not changing too much of the game overall. I think the quality of life that they should be focusing on is things like getting from place to place, but not taking too much away of that nostalgia where you have to ride the boat, things like that. Obviously adding certain skill balances to the game, but again, not adjusting things too much. I think one of the fine lines that Nexon has to go about is making quality of life changes that are good for the game, but don't take away from that feeling that we all know and love so much about old school Maplestory. I know one of the best feelings in old school Maplestory was gaining a level no matter what level you were at. Gaining a level at level 12, at level 20, at level 30, at level 35, and that feeling of that grind that you had to do to get to that certain level just felt so good. And I wouldn't want to see them make leveling too easy in Maplestory, because at the end of the day, Maplestory is a grindier game, and old school Maplestory, although it is harder to level up at earlier levels, it still feels really good and a really good accomplishment for achieving these levels in the game. So that's something that I don't want to see them take away too much from. Now, of course, they could tweak a little bit of EXP values from level to level, but again, it's all about that fine line of keeping the game still feeling like old school Maplestory, but making it feel like a new and improved version where you don't notice the difference, but you can still feel it slightly, but it doesn't take away that overall nostalgic feeling that we all love. Now, the other thing that I've heard a lot of people talking about, and I want to give my opinions on this, and that is the third and fourth job advancements in old school Maplestory. Now, I know a lot of people really want to stick to the pretty much like beta version of old school Maplestory where it's just second job and that's about it. And although I do respect that opinion and I do respect where you're coming from when you want to have just the second job, I don't think that there can be a longevity of old school Maplestory if they don't have things like third job and fourth job. I know how amazing it felt being a second job player and then leveling up to level 70, going to Elnath, going and doing the job advancement, answering the questions, getting the dark crystal, and then finally advancing to whether it was a hermit, priest, crusader, or whatever job you had chose. And I think that's such a strong feeling that so many players have that I think it just needs to be in the game. I don't think the game will have enough longevity if they don't have things like third job in it. These are things that need to be in the game, in my opinion, for the longevity and the excitement to continue on even past the first month of launch for old school Maplestory. Now, along with third job, I would like to see them obviously longer term roll out fourth job as well, because like I explained with third job, there was no better feeling than getting that fourth job advancement and unlocking those new skills, getting those skill books, and pretty much just advancing into a new journey in Leafree. Although I know a lot of people want to keep that old school classic feeling, I'm speaking more from a longevity aspect of the game, and I think for the game to really thrive and go past that 1 month hype period of launch, they need to have things like third job and fourth job and then quality of life from then on and there to keep the game thriving long term. Now, on top of the job advancements, what are some other good quality of life changes that I think that they could add into the game? Well, for one, I think that PQs are such a very nostalgic experience for a lot of people, and I think that somewhat tweaking EXP in party quests would be a good quality of life to have. I know that in old school Maplestory there were pretty much the meta PQs to do because none of the other ones were really worth doing, but I think adding or maybe boosting some of the other party quests would be a great quality of life to add into the game, because again, I don't think that takes too much away from the feeling of the game, but it just makes it feel a little bit better without taking that actual feeling of nostalgia away. Also tweaking EXP for whatever values they wanted to do, but again, not making it too easy or too simple for the player to level up. And then obviously party training, and one of the bigger ones is going to be item loot. Now, I know all of us know how good of a feeling it was to be hunting monsters and getting a rare scroll, a throwing star drop, or just a drop that you overall needed to acquire to increase your character stats. And that was such a great feeling, and I wouldn't want to see them boost the rates of item loot too much in old school Maplestory. I think it was such a great feeling grinding and getting the item that you were spending so much time to get and then finally acquiring it. If they made things too simple or too easy, that may take away that actual nostalgic feeling, and that may take away the actual achievement feeling if they make it too easy. But that's just my thoughts. Those are just my opinions. Let me know if you guys disagree with that. I think the item loot was great and the rarity that they had was awesome, but you guys may disagree. And then one of the other things that I think is a hot topic and might be something controversial, but that is going to be Gachapon. Now, I know Gachapon was extremely overpowered in things like pink adventure capes and other items and scrolls in the Gachapon, but I also think that Gachapon was such a nostalgic feeling, and I think it's completely lost its touch today. Nobody cares about Gachapon. None of the items in the Gachapon today are even cool. None of them are interesting, and none of them are even usable. I think that's what made Gachapon so unique back in the day, is that it gave you such an experience that when you got a good item, it was something that you actually needed or could use, and you could actually use to build your character. Now, whether or not they add in Gachapon, that's up to them. I think it would be a great addition, but I do understand the also controversy of items being too overpowered in the Gachapon. So maybe potentially tweaking the item values that are in the Gachapon and then adjusting them for those values. And then the other thing as well that ties into Gachapon is the pay to win aspect. Now, what I would like to see them do if they do add in Gachapon is make Gachapon tickets droppable from mobs in the game. I think that'd be a very cool experience, knowing that you can go and grind for tickets to use on Gachapon and then acquire items that you need that can build your character stats through that form of progression. I wouldn't want to see them add in a bunch of pay to win where the only way you can obtain Gachapon tickets is actually from buying NX and then buying the Gachapon tickets themselves. I think it'd be really cool to be able to grind for that. But again, those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. People may disagree, but again, if you guys do, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about Gachapon. And then the final thing, and again, another controversial topic in Maplestory, but that is going to be NLC. Now, I know you guys have such a strong memory of going to NLC and going and killing Headless Horseman and getting Bigfoot Leech, or going and killing Bigfoot yourself, or even doing a CWKPQ. And I think that these are such strong experiences and strong emotional experiences that a lot of people share today, that I think it's something that would be super cool to keep in the game or add to old school Maplestory maybe later on in the future. And I know that NLC was one of the more broken things in the game, but I think again, adjusting those values, balancing NLC and bringing it down to a level that it's more balanced for the entire player base would be a very good way to go about it, rather than just leaving it out. But again, those are my thoughts, those are my opinions. I thought that a lot of people really enjoyed this CWKPQ experience and the experience of hunting and exploring the depths of NLC. I think it was a really cool experience for so many players. And I think that all of these points that I just listed are super important for the actual longevity of the game, because like so many players, they don't want to see old school Maplestory just be a one-off thing and then it kind of dies down. They do want to see it have life and longevity throughout a longer timeline than just a month. And I think adding things like this in the game will keep hype and excitement behind the game itself and keep players playing the game, and even having older players coming back after hearing from the game. Now, one of the other things that I did want to go over is adding new content to old school Maplestory and how they might go about it, or my opinions on this. Now, I don't know how they would actually go about it. Now, I've thought about this quite a bit, and I know that old school RuneScape and Jagex do a really good job about it. And I would love to see them do something like this, how old school RuneScape has gone about adding newer content into the old school experience while still keeping it feeling like an old school experience. Now, I don't know the exact way that they would go about this, but I would love to see them add on to the old school experience while still keeping the feel of classic Maplestory. I think this is really important as well for the longevity, and I think this is also something that keeps hype and excitement in the game. Again, I don't know if they're gonna do this, but I think it would be a great idea to try and do something like this, or maybe copy the approach of old school RuneScape, because they've done such a great job with their old school servers. Now, the final and last thing that I do want to talk about is the monetization of the game. Now, I know we all remember the downfall of old school Maplestory and the implementation of cubes and how the pay to win kind of broke the experience for a lot of people. Now, I would like, if they do monetization, to keep it cosmetic only. Cosmetic only, or maybe things like pay to convenience for things like hyper rocks or traveling like that. But I think that would be the absolute furthest to go in monetization. I understand completely that for games to thrive, they need to have a profitable and monetizable path to actually stay funded and stay thriving for a longer period of time. Or if they do like a subscription model, I don't think that people would be too upset about doing a subscription model if the game had the nurture and additions that all the players had asked for. I know old school RuneScape does a subscription model, and it works really well for them because not only can you just pay for the subscription, but you can also grind in the game to then sell the gold in the game and then buy a subscription through just farming in the game. But let's be honest, most of us nowadays, we're a lot older and we do have more money that we can actually spend, and spending $15 on a game that we enjoy every single month probably wouldn't get too many people upset if the game was done and developed properly. I think that would be something that everyone could get behind versus having stuff in the game that is just pay to win and takes away that nostalgic feeling. So that's my 2 cents on the monetization, how they should go about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But yeah, that's kind of my overall thoughts and opinions on old school Maplestory. I'm very excited for the classic experience to come back. I played a lot of Artale. We didn't really stream it too much. We didn't really show off a lot of content, but we did indeed play it. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoy the old school Maplestory classic, and I love the experience and the nostalgia that comes with it. And I hope that you guys are also very excited, and that's why I want to see your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. If you guys did enjoy the video for today, please leave a like on the video, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. But for now, that is going to wrap up the video for today. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and hopefully this is not the last video for old school Maplestory classic for the future. When the server does get released, we will be playing it, we will be streaming it, and it will be a ton of fun, and I hope you guys are excited as well. But other than that, guys, that's going to wrap up the video for today. I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.